Prepare for the loading screen that will be your mind exploding from amazing gaming news. Are you expecting this? I bet you're not. Oh, let's do this.
Hello and welcome to Respawn TV. I'm your host Nate Quick, and this is your source for all things nerd culture. Let's start things off with this week's up-and-coming releases. You can look forward to seeing these titles and many more released throughout the month on your favorite platforms. This week's releases are Mass Effect Andromeda, March 21st for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. This sequel to the incredibly popular science fiction trilogy brings players back to the world of Mass Effect for the first time since the release of Mass Effect 3 in 2012. It'll be shedding some of the old staples of the series, like its darker tone, some of the characters, and the 6 subclasses, while still holding on to enough of the old game style to keep fans coming back. The emphasis this time will be on a lighter story, more open world, and increased stat customization, as well as making combat more open as opposed to the old cover base. Troll and I, March 21st for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Set in a post-World War II Scandinavia, Troll and I tells the story of a boy named Otto who befriends a troll on the run from a hunter. The gameplay focuses on combat and puzzle solving. The troll and Otto must work together to solve certain puzzles. The game features a split-screen local co-op. Dreamfall Chapters: The Longest Journey, Final Cut, March 24th for the PS4 and Xbox One. This release combines all 5 episodes of Dreamfall Chapters: The Longest Journey, as well as updates them for console quality, and fulfills the last of its Kickstarter bonuses. It also serves as the final game in the Longest Journey saga. Dreamfall Chapters continues the story of its predecessor, Dreamfall. It is set in 2 different worlds: Stark, a cyberpunk futuristic version of Earth, and Arcadia, a parallel world with a fantasy theme. Players will control the main character in a third-person, over-the-shoulder view to investigate a plot to conquer both worlds. There's also an optional online function to see how many other players made the same dialogue choices as you before or after the choice. Mario Sports Superstars, March 24th for the 3DS. This 3DS game combines the baseball gameplay of Mario Sluggers and the soccer of Mario Strikers, as well as the gameplay of Mario Golf and Mario Tennis, and adds a new horse racing component as well. These are not mini-games either. Every sport is a full-fledged match. The game contains single-player, local multiplayer, and online multiplayer. Keep tuned in each week to get news on up-and-coming release dates for new and exciting games. Up next, check out This Week in Tech by Wyatt Bell.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm Wyatt Bell and welcome to another episode of This Week in Tech. This week we'll be looking at the GoPro Hero 5 Black. GoPro recently made the Hero 5 available for purchase on October 2nd, 2016, as well as releasing 2 other devices at the same time, the Hero 5 Session and a revamped version of the regular Hero Session. However, the Hero 5 Black is the big bad king of the mountain, GoPro's best version of the Hero yet. The Hero 5 has a small screen on the front of the camera near the lens to show you what mode you're shooting in, and it also shows you your Wi-Fi connection, battery life, and how many photos you've taken on the SD card that is inserted in the camera. It is a handy way to see some of the basics instead of having to search through all the menus on the back screen. The back screen on the Hero 5 has a very handy touchscreen, making it much easier to navigate instead of having to use all the buttons on the side of the camera. It does have a dedicated mode button on the right side of the camera, which works kind of like an input button on a TV, changing between the different camera types on the action camera. The Hero 5 has 4 different modes, including time-lapse, video, photo, and burst mode. In video mode, which is the most popular mode on a GoPro, the Hero 5 has the ability to shoot footage from 480p all the way to crystal clear 4K resolution. 4K can shoot anywhere from 24 frames per second all the way to 240 frames per second. 4K only shoots in wide mode though, while 1080p or below can shoot in wide, narrow, close-up, etc. The Hero 5 also has the option of using an external microphone instead of using the internal mics built into the camera. All you need to do is open the flap on the left side of the camera and plug in an external mic in the USB port. This is optional, of course, and it's all about your preference, as the Hero 5 does have 3 built-in mics in the camera and does do good recording audio with those. The camera will automatically adjust to wind noise and pick up the best mic for conditions, which is a very nice touch. The Hero 5 also has voice control options, making it easy to control the camera and use commands instead of having to use the touchscreen. This is very convenient, especially if you were to be skiing down the side of a mountain and couldn't touch the screen because you just didn't want to or didn't want to remove your gloves. The Hero 5 is waterproof up to 33 feet, making it nice for those underwater enthusiasts out there. It is slightly bigger than its predecessor, the Hero 4, and has a different look as well. It also has a removable battery, so you can swap batteries on the fly instead of having to charge up every time it dies on you, which is not an option on the new Hero 5 Session. Overall, the GoPro Hero 5 is an improvement over its predecessor, the Hero 4. The Hero 5 will start at a price of $399.99, a much more competitive price than its main competitor from Garmin, the Verb, which is upwards of $500. For the price, you're getting one gem of a camera. This has been Wyatt Bell with This Week in Tech. Now back to Respawn TV.
Thanks, Wyatt. A cult classic fighting game is getting a revamp. The simplified fencing side-scroller Nidhogg has gained popularity in the competitive fighting games community, despite its stickman-style art and one-track combat system. In fact, it's so popular that the developer, Mark Essen, is making a sequel. It's a little different though. The new Nidhogg steps away from the Atari-style graphics of the original and takes a more detailed approach. Essen decided that rather than have the stickman characters in his game look cool or muscular, they should look fat and silly, and fitting with the game's whimsical theme. There has been some backlash over the design choice, but Essen defends it. "I always kinda wanted it to be better," he says. "The simplicity ended up working out. But if we were going to make a sequel, I wanted it to look a lot different." Nidhogg 2 will have a lot of other dynamics too, including new weapons and fighting styles. Essen even claims that the game will have a backstory. The game doesn't have a set release date beyond, quote, "this year," unquote, but Essen is excited for the public to get their hands on his new vision. We'll continue after some commercials, but first, here's Jack McCormick with Why.
Hello, Respawners. I'm Jack McCormick telling you to get ready to release any pent-up rage you may have kept up bottled inside for this week's episode of Why. Today we'll be looking at some good old-fashioned poor-quality violence with Paint the Town Red. If you've ever wondered what your Minecraft character is doing while you're not on your console, he's beating the hell out of all other Minecraft people down at the local bar. This is probably the Irish's favorite game, as the whole objective is to be king of the bar fight. You walk into the establishment like you own the place, and you see people minding their own business, and you're just not having any of that. So you throw the first punch and it turns into an all-out brawl. This game is imagine Call of Duty Zombies, but block people instead.
You blockhead!
Anything that is not pinned to the ground can be used as a weapon. You know, your traditional bar fight weapons like pool sticks and bar stools and beer mugs, or you could use your God-given weapons and play a round of fisticuffs with them.
If you want to throw down in fisticuffs, fine. I've got Jack Johnson and Tom O'Leary waiting for you, right here.
Every hit you land on your adversaries chips away at their blockiness, and they cube blood everywhere. That stays there for the whole duration of the gameplay. So by the end of the level, you know why the game is called Paint the Town Red. Except that phrase traditionally means to go out and enjoy yourself, but coating the floors with the blood of your enemies works too, I guess. After you assert your dominance as alpha male in the bar by ending all the lives of every living thing around you, you get to start round 2, but this time, you got beef with the disco. You start a literal panic at the disco by fighting various block, bouncers, and pimps. After you conquer the disco, I guess you got in some kind of trouble, as the next level, you start in prison. But the state cannot thwart your dastardly deeds, as you incite a prison riot and start murdering inmates and guards alike. The last level, apparently you escape from prison and run away to be a pirate? But your past follows you, and it's the same song, different chorus, and you kill everyone who is not you. After a certain amount of bloodshed, you can earn certain power-ups that will help the body count rise at even faster rate. There's Shockwave, which helps you when you got your back against the wall and need to keep a horde of angry cube men at bay. And then there's my personal favorite, Berserk, where every haymaker you land completely obliterates some unlucky soul's head. This game is fun, but if you're playing too much of it, you should probably be put on some kind of watch list. This has been Jack McCormick with Why? But before I go, hey Nate, where do you think these people are from? Cuba. Ah, just for you, Nate. Back to Respawn TV.
Welcome back to Respawn TV. I'm your host, Nate Quick, and you just saw Jack's pack. Why? SD Inc., a fledgling Kickstarter company, is introducing a way for consumers to turn their iPhones into Androids. But maybe not the way you're thinking. The Eye is a device that allows iPhone users the luxury of running an Android operating system for $189. But in reality, it's not much better than taping a cheap Android phone to the back of your iPhone. The Eye works by using the original phone's cameras, battery, and microphones to operate what's essentially an entirely separate phone built into the case. The features included are admittedly impressive, featuring wireless charging, NFC capability, an IR blaster, 2 SIM card slots, an SD card slot, and an extra battery for extended life. The Eye has already received nearly $230,000 compared to its $95,000 Kickstarter goal, and is expected to start shipping to early bird backers in August. We're going to take a short break for commercials, but first, here's Nelson Butler with Storyteller.
What's good, Respawners? Nelson Butler here, and I have another game to review on Storyteller. This week, I'm reviewing Sonic the Hedgehog, the 2006 version. This game was made for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 for its 15-year anniversary. The game was really unsuccessful and glitchy and disappointed a lot of hardcore Sonic fans, including me. The story starts off with Princess Elise at the Parade of Fire or something. It's interrupted when Eggman comes and attempts to take Elise, but Sonic makes his appearance and does what he do best.
I'm Sonic! Sonic the Hedgehog!
She eventually gets kidnapped by Dr. Eggman, and again, and even some more after that. Sonic is usually trying to save her throughout his story.
I knew you'd return. You had to.
Another character you play as is Shadow the Hedgehog. Now Shadow is a secret agent who's been called in to rescue Rouge. When you find her, she possesses some sort of statue. Later it's released and Mephiles the Dark is free and in the appearance of Shadow. He then sends them to the future where the Earth has turned to a world of flames. The future is where you meet the third playable character, Silver. In his world, the city has been taken over by the fire monster named Iblis. Mephiles convinces Silver that the only way he can save his world is by killing the Iblis trigger, which is Sonic. So Silver goes back in time and attempts to eliminate him.
The Iblis trigger must die!
Sonic.
Now for time travel stories, you either do it well or you do it bad. This game does it pretty well actually. The concept makes sense with very little loopholes. And for you to be playing as 3 different characters, they keep it all well balanced. As for the gameplay, it's a different story. It's probably the worst, if not the worst, quality experience the Sonic franchise ever had. It's just very sluggish for what's supposed to be a fast-paced game. It has glitches out of the wazoo and extremely long loading scenes, sometimes for just one sentence. The storyline of Sonic the Hedgehog is on point, but with some flaws. The main one being the bestiality between Elise and Sonic. But because the gameplay makes the game so unfun, it brings down the score to a 6 out of 10. The developers really tried to make this game one of the memorable ones. If they would have put a little more time into the production of this game, it would have been worth buying. I guess that's what happens when you split a production team in half. But hey, a lesson learned. That's all I got for you guys this week. I'm Nelson Bella, and I'll see you next time on Storyteller.
Thanks, Nelson. Welcome back to Respawn TV. I'm Nate Quick. Project Delta is coming up next. Respawn TV and Delta air each week, Monday through Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. And you can watch our content online at facebook.com/respawn8 and on KNWT's YouTube page. Now, we'll be joining you with Project Delta shortly, but first, here's Mackenzie Doherty with Beyond the Theory. Please stay tuned for more Respawn TV.
Hey guys, it's Mackenzie Doherty, and welcome back to Beyond the Theory, the show where we dive deeper into anime conspiracies. Today, we're going to be delving into Code Geass. This anime follows Lelouch, who gets the power of Geass from a young girl called Cece. The power Geass is one that makes anyone obey any order. And while Suzaku is currently made pilot of Britannia's new prototype Nightmare Lancelot, Lelouch becomes the Master Zero to lead the rebellion to destroy Britannia once and for all. One theory for the show is that Lelouch is still alive. In the show, he has allegedly killed Suzaku Kurugi, who is pretending to be Zero, so Lelouch could act as a martyr and save the world. At the end of the series, Cece is seen riding on a carriage in the countryside. With the way the camera angles are and the way she's talking, it seems as if Cece is talking to the person driving who could very well have been Lelouch since she used his name.
I said that Geass was the power of the king which would condemn you to a life of solitude. I think maybe that's not quite correct. Right, Lelouch?
And Lelouch's father is immortal because of his own Geass. So technically, Lelouch should be immortal as well. With the theory that Lelouch is still alive, some people do believe that Lelouch stole Charles's code to become immortal, because Charles was choking Lelouch and Lelouch told Suzaku to not interfere, and the code only became active after Lelouch experienced quote-unquote death when he was stabbed by Zero. More evidence includes the fact that Lelouch's half-brother is still under his Geass's control for eternity. So if Lelouch was in fact dead, then in theory the Geass's power should dissipate along with him, leading people to believe that he really is alive. Some people feel that this show is some sort of Japanese reinterpretation of World War II if they had lost, or even that they are predicting the future. This comes about because there is a lot of symbolism harking back to World War II. One of the terrorists has a Star of David on his coat, and is part of a quote-unquote ghetto, which is a clear parallel to the Nazi regime in Europe. The map in the intro is similar to the US's approach towards Japan during the island-hopping campaign. The nightmares are akin to the atomic bombs in the sense of a revolutionary new weapon as well. A smaller theory is that the Britannia Empire has conquered almost the whole world and is supposed to represent the United States. Others contradict this by saying it is actually representing Britain more than the US because of the royal titles given to those who had authority in the different numbering zones. The villain is also the head of a giant monarchy.
Stay quiet. Wait here.
This is a really cool show, even though there are very few theories behind it. The big one being that Lelouch is still alive. It does spark a lot of emotions in people because it parallels real events that have happened and can even be put to more recent ones going on. This is Mackenzie Doherty, and you're watching Respawn TV.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Project Delta. I'm your host, Devin Van Zant, and with me is...
Andy Johnson.
Andy, what did you bring in for us to play?
Well, I brought in Legend of Zelda: The Breath of the Wild on the new Nintendo Switch.
Oh boy.
I know.
All right, full disclosure, this is not my first time with the game, but all of the shock and awe is genuine because this is a fantastic, amazing, fantastic game.
Yes, it is a fantastic game. I've played for about 20, 40 hours, and my map is about a quarter of what the map says I can be.
Yeah, it's pretty huge.
It's a big map. It is a very big map.
Yeah, I've only played just probably like half an hour. I played like half an hour last week when you brought it in.
Yeah.
And the whole time I didn't get anything accomplished, but the whole time I was just focused on like my mind being blown.
Yeah.
I went into a temple and I didn't get past the first room because I was just like,
But yeah, with open world games, I mean, some people like to, finish the quest and that kind of stuff. There's some people that just like to walk around and be like, I spent like 3 hours in this place, didn't get anything done. I mean, it's fine. I mean, to each is our own.
That's a really cool thing about this game is that it's a Zelda game that just like is like, whatever, do whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is, a lot of Zelda games have been open and
oh, you're gonna die on
man,
this one.
I'm gonna run away. You know, the Zelda games have always been kind of fantastical and allowed for, especially harkening back to like Wind Waker, the original Legend of Zelda. They've been really open, but this is a game that's just doesn't even like put you towards the story, or like, it's just like go do kind of whatever you feel like, and we'll give you the tools to make that happen.
Yeah, they'll show you like, hey, this is where you might want to go, but I mean, go wherever you want to go. Like, that's essentially what it is. It's just like, uh-oh, there goes your sword.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, run away. All right, what can I do? Let's see. I'm gonna shock him.
Nice, lightning rod. So yeah, I mean, with the other Zelda games, they felt more linear than this game did. Like you were just like, okay, this is the path I have to go on, and that's it. Like I can't go any further. I can't go somewhere that's off the beaten path. When this one, like I said before, there's an objective, but you don't necessarily have to go straight there. Like I've had the same objective for probably 10 hours, and I still haven't gotten to it. Like I'm just hanging around Hyrule, just having fun.
Somebody plays Zelda like I play Skyrim. Let's go visit all the little places and ignore whatever people are telling me.
I mean, with the Switch, I mean, I don't necessarily have to stay. Oh, you died. But I don't have to stay in my house. Like, I literally just take the Joy-Cons with me.
Oh, do you now?
Yeah, I do. There's little buttons right on the back.
Like
little buttons.
this?
Oh, there it is. I'll take the grip
that.
for you. Yes.
Look
so
at
yeah,
that.
I take that and I take the console with me, and I'm just like I can walk around like a little tablet or something like that, and it's a lot of fun.
I will say I was very skeptical of playing like this. You actually kind of had to force me to do it. Andy, I was playing by myself, and I was perfectly fine playing with the controller because I just like, even like, you know, with the Wii and things like that, I just like the feel of a controller.
Yeah.
Even on the PC, I play with my Xbox One controller, and Andy came in and he's like, take those off. And I was like, no, I don't want to. And he was like, no, just take them off. And I will say, once you get used to it a little bit, it's pretty cool to just be able to put your hands wherever as you're playing.
Yeah, exactly. Whoops. Oh, there's your scope.
Clearly works very well for me.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, and even the first time, like when I was thinking about, like, when I was leaving for the first time, I was like, I want to bring Zelda with me. And I'm like, wait, I have the Switch. I can do that. It's like, I'm like, mind blown. It's just a great piece of technology that Nintendo probably should have released years ago before the Wii, before the Wii U.
Yeah, honestly,
that should have been the Wii U.
Honestly, yeah, this is everything the Wii U should have been.
Yeah.
It's pretty fantastic as far as those sorts of features go. And for as big as this game is, and as crazy as it is, it plays really well. Like, it looks good. There's a little bit of framing issues. I've read that. I've seen it.
Yep.
There's some frame rate. But honestly, if you can kind of like be like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Boomerang's gone now too. Oh, nice pause there.
That. I should not have done that. Hey, my Claymore's back.
Hey.
I can fight with this.
But yeah,
if you can look past that, those few frame rate issues, the game runs perfectly fine for how big it is, and it looks gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
it's a beautiful Zelda.
I've seen the game cartridge. It is very small, and it tastes bad, by the way.
Yes.
I tasted it.
They are bittered to prevent children and animals from eating them.
Yes.
Although I have read that it doesn't work on dogs.
Oh, all right.
I have seen a lot of chewed up Switch cartridges and with pictures with titles like, this doesn't work on dogs, which I can attest to because I had a dog that we had to bitter some stuff for, and it doesn't deter them. They're totally cool with bitter. So, whoa! What is that move?
But going back to the frame rate, what I've seen is that if you're playing on tablet mode or you're playing like handheld mode, no frame rate drop. Like there's no like little jolt or something like that. But when you're on the TV,
that's because the TV's running 60 and the tablet's running 30.
Exactly.
So that does solve the problem, I suppose. But if you're willing to if you're willing to make that compromise.
Yeah, exactly.
A minor test of strength. This is hard. This is definitely
We need the Hulk on this one.
Yeah, I have heard. I have the Shulk.
Oh, you do have the Shulk. That's right.
There was a pun for you. Zelda pun.
Anybody
I
got
have read
that?
that this is harder than that parts of this are pretty hard for a Zelda game.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, he cornered me.
Uh-oh.
I'm just gonna run away.
Yeah,
and
that works.
Let's see. Now the cool thing about this game is all the different little options you have, all the powers you have.
Oh yeah.
Which is kind of a new concept to Zelda, and
Yeah.
also there's no magic meter, which surprised me, because like they basically just don't limit you. They're just basically like,
I'll just drop it right there.
yeah, it works.
Yeah.
They basically just kind of like, you know, like we said earlier, just enable you to do whatever you want. There's a
Yeah.
little recharge time on some of the overpowered abilities.
Yeah.
But as far as that goes, like, uh-oh, that was not the button I thought it was. All right, come here, come here, come here.
These aren't the buttons you're looking for.
Yeah. This is incredibly fun.
Yes, it
I am
is.
having a blast, and Andy, you got to stop me from buying the Switch. I don't have that kind of money. But you keep bringing, and Steven are just a drain on me. You and Steven bring in the Wii U and the Switch, and you're like, look at all these cool games. And
Buy
I'm like,
'em.
I'm poor.
But the one complaint I do have about the Switch is its launch titles. Like
There's
this
nothing
is-
on there except
yeah,
Zelda.
this is the only one.
I have heard, I have a friend who also named Andy, also bought a Switch. He said that he got Bomberman R, and he says it's an okay Bomberman game. It's not worth $60. He's told me. So, yeah, the launch lineup is pretty abysmal. I've read some stories that say that the lineup is getting better. That the list for 2017 looks good.
It's getting better. Yes, I agree.
Well, that's just about all the time we have for Delta today. Thank you for joining us. Come back next week. We've got new game, new host, new everything again. Same as always, same time, Monday through Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. And you can check us out online at Facebook or YouTube. Thanks for watching.